Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Today we're on an ATV shore fishing and kayak fishing adventure out of the Hotel Palmas de Cortez on the East Cape of Baja. Now, if you want to learn how to catch more fish, stay tuned. I'm Justin Wolff, and this is Angler West Television. Just on the inside of the tip of the Baja Peninsula is a region known as the East Cape, home to one of the most diverse and unique marine environments in the world. Here, the cool, fertile waters of the Pacific push into the Gulf of California, or the Sea of Cortez. Along the reefs, rocky outcroppings, and sandy beaches is incredible snorkeling, diving, and of course fishing outside the boundaries of the Cabo Pulmo National Marine Reserve. The Cabo Pulmo area is as cherished by divers as the rest of the East Cape is cherished by sport anglers. Few places in the world compare to the variety of sea life found in this region. The reef is the oldest of only 3 in existence on the west coast of North America, at approximately 20,000 years old. But after a decline in the health of the reef last century, the park has seen a 400% increase in total biomass since the turn of the century. The town of Cabo Pulmo is as special and unique as the Marine Reserve, with several little restaurants and several diving and snorkeling services. Certainly a place to consider visiting if you find yourself on the East Cape. For fishermen, the mile after mile of beach outside of the park offers unlimited opportunities for fishing. No doubt an ATV is the best way to access the beaches of the East Cape, which has open access almost throughout the entire beachfront. Most people who come to the East Cape will stay in Los Barriles at the northern end of the region of what's known as the Bay of Palms. We're staying at the Hotel Palmas de Cortez, which puts us right in the middle of some of the best fishing in the world. We could head offshore in a cruiser for billfish, tuna, dorado, or wahoo, but this time we're going to stay onshore to target inshore species from the beach. We could cast bait or lures with conventional gear, but fly fishing opens up a world of possibilities for enjoying mornings of light tackle fishing.
Well, we find the static high tide, which we have right now, is not as productive. Down here, especially with the big rooster fish, we like the falling tide right into dead pool, and the lower the tide, the better. And that way those roosters can trap the mullet up over the shallow sandbars, and they can get a hold of them a lot better. They want to swallow them by their head, and the shallower water, less chance that mullet can get away from them, better chance the rooster fish has of pinning them in the shallows. So we're kind of waiting for the water to drop and for bait activity to pick up, and hopefully a nice good bust. We're trying right here. There's a little rock shelf right here. Sometimes we can pick up some snapper, triggerfish, green jacks. I've got this kind of little shrimp imitation on here, and I'm using really an old English wet fly style fishing hand twist. Works. It's designed for freshwater fishing, soft tackles and wet flies, but it works really well in the salt too. It gives that fly a nice little twitchy, jerky motion. We've caught everything right up to some pretty good sized grouper fishing this way, drifting over the reefs. But it's a technique I've used in the Caribbean for bonefish. Works well on permit. And a lot of people have kind of forgotten it, with the bobber indicator fishing kind of taking hold in fly fishing for trout. A lot of people have never learned how to use some of the old wet fly techniques. But you can vary it, go really fast, or you can pause it, sometimes go fast and then a hard strip. key here with all these things that kind of live in around the rocks that are ambush feeders is vary your speed and cadence of the strip. Now we get back over on the roosterfish. It's fast and then faster.
Mike Reeser, who runs Baja Fly Fishing Company, is on the lookout for the roosterfish that the East Cape is famous for. But these waters are full of possibilities, and it's all fun with light tackle.
Sometimes this spot right in here can be good. We'll find schools of Jack Crevalles hanging right on the rocks here, but maybe Pargo, maybe Cabrilla, green jacks. But sometimes this can be a pretty good spot. Give her a try. I'm going to get in my small sardina imitation box.
Go to AnglerWestTV.com right now and save money and get a bottle each of the original and Bloody Tuna Scent Chamber Magic. Ideal for filling the Oregon Tackle scent chambers or any lure that holds scent. Also, if you're hunting trophy trout, the Max Lure flashlight attractors are perfect to pull in front of plugs or in tandem with the Double D Dodgers. And now's the time to stock up on Brad Super Baits and Cut Plug Super Baits and start catching more fish. Also, stop polluting the water and yourself with toxic soap. Use Fisherman's Eco Soap instead. Order now at AnglerWestTV.com. Chinook and coho on the menu? Then put Oregon Tackle to work like the Salmon Sniper spinners with built-in scent chambers. Available in a 2-hook mooching rig or with treble hooks. Or go with the deadly switchblade spinner. Of course, these fish great behind the Oregon Tackle School of Fish. If you're using spreaders, then why not use Oregon Tackle spreaders with built-in scent chambers? Just fill with any Procure oil or Angler West Scent Chamber Magic. Also available in a plunking style with a rotating arm. Look for Oregon Tackle products in stores now. Maximize your float fishing game with the new technologically advanced Pro Drift floats by Fishfield, available in 11 sizes from 1/8 to 5 ounces with EVA foam construction, durable braid-ready inserts, and color options to match the conditions. And they're the only float with a glow stick insert for low light conditions. And prepare to load the boat with the lifelike Fishfield Pacific Chovy heads with a versatile double ring and bait keeper system. Available in 6 colors from 1 to 3 ounces. These are ideal for tuna and other saltwater species. Find the best prices today in Tigard or online. Welcome back to the East Cape of Baja California Sur. We're near the town of Los Barillas, about an hour or so from Cabo San Lucas on a remote beachfront that gives us prime access to a wide variety of fishing possibilities. One method for finding fish is to ride the miles of beach in an ATV looking for signs of bait fish, or even better, actively feeding fish. Then it's just a matter of making the right presentation to the fish.
Little guys, they pretty good bend on the rod. This is one of many species we can catch. I mean, just in the jack family alone, Jack Crevalles, amberjacks, green jacks, fire jacks, black jacks, big-eyed jacks, and it goes on. Amberjacks, all in the jack family. We can catch any one of those right here along the beaches. This little spot right here is a little point, some rocks, and these fish a lot of times will have small bait fish pushed up around here. We were driving along, I could see their backs bulging as they were feeding. We got a little rooster here. Real pretty at this size. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. We've been waiting to see more bait fish, small bait fish in, and these guys wouldn't be here if there wasn't some small bait fish to follow in. So. One of the prettiest fish, and those yellows and all, black and silver. You know, that's a small one, but I tell you, catching rooster fish is kind of like catching permit. They all count, and it's all fun. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, any size fish is fun to catch. And that's I'm more about the fun and that. We'll hopefully find some bigger ones along the beach. And right in here, you know, we've caught them 30 pounds, even pushing 40 pounds in here. So that's a healthy sign, seeing those younger guys in here. You know, we're getting some reproduction, and that they're also following some bait fish in. We've had big roosters, you know, in the 30, 40 pound range. Have a longer fight to get one of those in than, say, an 80 or 90 pound striped marlin on fly gear. They're just a very strong species of fish. Your Jack Crevalle's similar in fight, and that's the other species we have a good chance of finding in here is Jack Crevalle's. We caught that one smaller one, but right along these beaches, especially this time of year, they come inshore during the spawning period, and we'll catch them up to 30, 35 pounds. We've caught a few even over 40 pounds. So those are two fish we're kind of looking for, the Jack Crevalle's and big roosters.
On this day, an afternoon wind has blown us off the water, but tomorrow is another day. Unlike Cabo San Lucas, which is exposed to the Pacific Ocean and its swells, the East Cape is just on the inside of the peninsula, which protects it from the Pacific swells, making it ideal kayak water. Today, as the sun rises over the Sea of Cortez, we'll launch our kayaks to fish the waters of the Bay of Palms.
Well, the winds have died down this morning, and actually we're right on nice tidal movement right at first daylight, and some bait working right here on the wave lap, little trough right here. We were watching fish last night just before sunset that were chasing bait all across out here. It's hard to tell if they were schools of jacks or schools of Dorado. Spot right through here is a good spot to drift with a sinking line. Triggerfish, small jacks. I just got kind of a wrasse type of fish here. It's somewhat like a parrotfish, but they've got two canine teeth. That means they're a predator and they're not a coral eater. I've caught them up to about 3 feet long. Just gotta watch the teeth on these things.
This year, catch more trout and kokanee with the Max Lure Double D Dodger, whether using a cha-cha squidder or sonic bait fish, or any lure with a fish-attracting smile blade like the new Glow Burst.
Ideally, this trolls at 1.5 miles per hour. Has a knife edge front, has a nice cupped rear portion to it. That whale tail, as it's bent, causes it to kick and causes it to rock back and forth. Okay? No tuning required. This will work right out of the box.
Stop guessing about curing roe and start catching more fish with ProCure's Liquid Egg Cure, the no-hassle, fail-safe way to get perfect eggs every time. The process is simple. Just butterfly your skeins, put them in a clean container, and cover with either Orange Glow, Red Hot, or Hot Pink and cure for several hours with no risk of ruining your eggs. There's no simpler way to cure great eggs. See the Liquid Cure instructional video with Steve Lynch of ProCure at anglerwesttv.com. Then start catching more fish. You know, the all-time greatest line cutter is the Boomerang Tool Company Snip. I've been using these for years and I just love them. This is P-Line TCB 80-pound braid. No problem whatsoever, no frayed ends, it's perfect every time. And now at anglerwesttv.com, you can get the same great snip with the Angler West TV logo. I just love these things. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. We're fishing out of the Hotel Palmas de Cortez, where we could be fishing offshore with a cruiser, but some people don't enjoy long boat rides or would rather just enjoy the quiet solitude of fishing from a kayak. And the hotel does have kayaks available for its guests. Mike Reeser has launched his kayak right in front of the hotel, where countless species of fish can be found.
Brought 2 rods today. Good chance that, based on what we saw yesterday, either Dorado or big Jack Crevalle's. We saw both working. Actually had Dorado bust bait right on the beach before we launched. So I got a rod for that, and then kind of while we're waiting to see those fish come up and start feeding, I've got a sinking line here, 300 grain sinking line, and I'm fishing 2 flies, and we're just kind of drifting along a little drop-off point here, and we can catch all kinds of things here, different types of the smaller jacks, triggerfish, pompano, and every once in a while these little flies will produce a pretty good sized jack crevalle. Just cast and let it sink. I dump some line on top of it so it'll sink fast. Wait till it gets to the bottom, and I use either small rod tip twitches or the old English style of the hand twist retrieve. Works really well on these fish. We're just kind of gonna drift along this. We're about probably 20 feet of water right here, and we're kind of right on the edge of kind of a cobblestone rocky area, and fish like to move right along this edge here. What I'm doing is watching out here in slick water to see if any Dorado are coming through. You can a lot of times see their heads knifing along, creating a little wake, especially in the water's kind of flat and silvery like that. Now if we do see a school of Dorado going through, I'll quickly of course reel in this line and go to this one here with a ballyhoo imitations. That's what's pulling these the Dorado and the jacks in here, and we'll just paddle like crazy and try to get out in front of the school. Not always easy. They can move through pretty fast. What we're hoping for is catch up to them about time they catch up with a school of bait fish, and then get right in the middle of feeding frenzy and cast into the middle of the fish. Yeah, we're fishing just right in front of the hotels, right in the very, very deepest end of the Bay of Palms, and the boat moorings right out here. There's a nice drop-off and current line that comes into here. It's a plankton trap, therefore you got a lot of bait fish that work in here, and big guys follow in. A lot of times the boats leave out of here, go look for billfish, you know, offshore and all, and we just kind of play around right here close to the shoreline, both out of kayak and in pongas, and we've caught a lot of Dorado in here. In fact, we've caught just right along the beach here, Dorado feeding, and we just saw a sizable ballyhoo come jumping out of the water, something chasing it, and that's what brings the Dorado in, also big roosters and jack crevalles. You know, my passion is fly fishing, but you know, there's times it doesn't work, and I'll come out here with the spin gear and fish jigs. I especially love sassy shad. Put about a 4-inch sassy shad on a 3/8 ounce jig. It's in it down to the bottom, and then we fish them usually pretty subtle, little twitches and jigs, kind of like I'm fishing this pair of flies. I've got 2 flies on here, an orange is brown, the other's red, and I'm just twitching it and jigging it. And we do the same thing with the sassy shad, or especially a little more aggressive fishing, you know, for fishing like a mega jig or that. Just found a huge school of ladyfish. And these guys are actually a member of the tarpon family, one of the few in the Pacific, and they are very prolific jumpers and pull quite hard for their size. This is on the smaller side of what we catch, but we'll get them up 4 or 5 pounds at times. And they can really pull you into your backing, as well as give you some pretty spectacular jumps and leaps. Obviously, this ladyfish like the bread.
The Clackercraft Magnum Power Drifter is designed to give you ultimate access to our thousands of miles of rivers, no matter how low the flows. For power, only the best will do. That's why Kayak chooses the reliable Tohatsu TLDI Series 35-horse jets, which use the power of a 50-horsepower TLDI to deliver a true 35 horses to the pump, with excellent fuel economy and an unmatched horsepower-to-weight ratio, so you can make those long runs through skinny water to find the fish. Bobber fishing is becoming more and more popular for salmon and steelhead, and I want to show you something that's going to help you catch more fish. Lots of people like to tie in a swivel underneath their bobber, which is great, but a metal swivel is going to sink and cause drag on your lure, which is not what you want when you're trying to achieve a subtle, lifelike presentation. Instead, use an Invisiswivel. Invisiswivels are made of fluorocarbon, they're invisible to the fish, and they're neutral buoyant, which means they will drift freely with your lure and not cause any unwanted drag. Learn more at aquatico.com and find them at your local retailer. Angler West TV is brought to you in part by Yeti Coolers. Wildly stronger, keep ice longer. Welcome back to the Bay of Palms on the East Cape of Baja California Sur. I'm Justin Wolff. We're fishing from a kayak with guide Mike Reeser out of the Hotel Palmas de Cortez in the town of Los Barriles, a small quiet town with a population of about 5,000 people, with a history built around fishing. These inshore waters are a paradise for any type of water sport and just ideal for fishing. From kayaks that are available at the hotel, literally feet from the shoreline, we can catch anything from Dorado to roosterfish and other species of jacks, and also hard-biting ladyfish that are a member of the tarpon family. Huge schools of ladyfish move up and down the shoreline feeding, and if you run into a school, be prepared for consistent action.
You know, typical of the tarpon family, they have incredibly hard mouths and then very sharp gill rakes. So it's hard to get the hook in them, and sometimes when you get in a big school like this, you'll get a hit and you'll set, and the fly will come out of the mouth and another one will grab it, and it'll come out and another one will grab it. It's not unusual to get 3-4 hits on a single retrieve before you finally get a fly into the soft part of their mouths, and then they'll come out of the water and jump, and if that gill rake catches the leader, they can cut it fairly easily. So definitely every time we catch one, we retie, and if there's any nicks or anything on the leaders. These guys have really turned on now. I'm getting 3, 4, 5 every time I'm casting, following, and typical getting hit, but that darn hard top of their mouth is hard to sink a hook into. But fun fish. It's just like fishing baby tarpon, you know, and back in the mangroves, you're going to land 1 out of 3 or 4. Here, don't have mangrove limbs hanging over the water to catch them when they jump.
Kayak fishing on the East Cape can produce some extreme catches, but it also can just be a relaxing few hours in the morning or evening for the whole family, as the fish really are just right off the dock.
right here in front of the dock on this, and very typically seeing big schools of striped grunts, yellowfin croaker mixed in with some mullet. Seen some pompano down there.
The kayaks are kept on the beach, and all you have to do is ask at the front desk for a paddle. Fishing the East Cape is possible year-round. The winter weather is beautiful with winds that typically come up in the late morning. The summers have warmer temperatures but less wind, and oftentimes excellent inshore fishing. And the transition times of spring and fall can give you incredible weather and a wide variety of fishing opportunities. Basically, any time is a great time to visit the East Cape. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. You know, without the support of the sponsors, the show would not be possible. So please thank them when you can. Now, get out there and do some great fishing.